What's up everybody, Kinetic here and welcome back to MU Legend. In this video, as promised, I want to talk about and give you guys my impressions of some of the endgame content that we're seeing so far in MU Legend. Now keep in mind that this CBT2 really wasn't meant to add any new content to the game for players to test. It was simply, for the most part, there as an extension of CBT1 to test the existing content as well as implement the new additional language support. As soon as I hit 65 today, which is currently the max level in MU Legend, I immediately went to the duty rooms, that way I could enter into some of those new dungeons that I gained access to. Now before 65 you do have access to the Endless Tower, which is, as the name implies, an endless tower climb where you fight floor after floor of all these more challenging enemies, and the higher that you go, of course, the greater the challenge, but the better the rewards. There's that, and then there's also a green magic gem mine that you can get into as well prior to 65, so you can start farming up the green gems that you can use for a bunch of things, including but not limited to things like costumes for your character, mounts, and some other resources and things like that. But upon hitting 65, that's when you get access to two new resource dungeons that are exactly really the same as the magic gem style. You go into an area, you fill a progress bar by killing enemies, and then once you do, then you can activate a machine that will open up a new portal, and then inside of that room you'll face a new kind of a boss inside of that room, and then upon completing that you get rewards similar to other dungeons. And of course you can do these as either solo, or you can choose to do them as a group, and you select your difficulty before going in. Just because I wanted to go ahead and try it out for myself, I decided to go in as normal difficulty and solo. There's also some spots where you can pick up some additional resources, like there are these chests that you can break, or crystal formations or something like that, that will have Zen or will have magic gems and stuff like that inside, which is pretty cool. And then, like I said, once you fill up the progress bar, then you can open a room, go into a dungeon, kick his ass, and collect more rewards. It's simple, it's very effective. You get loads of resources from this, from the Zen, the magic gem, and the kind of crafting material version as well. Now each of these resource dungeons you can only go into once a day, and then the other ones, for example the Endless Tower, you can actually go in there up to 3 times. In some cases you may get lucky and you may have a token that you can use to, for example, enter into the Endless Tower for an additional time that day. Maybe you've used up all 3 of your turns that day, but you really want to go one more time. You might have an extra key to go in there again. And then there's the Blood Castle, which is kind of a more traditional style of dungeons for online RPGs, and this one was actually my personal favorite. We went in there and it was really exciting. Wave after wave after wave of all of these enemies, and you have to burn them down and survive as well. Pretty intense assaults from some of these elite monsters, and then after that, then there's like a final boss who's even more insanely powerful and killed me multiple times just because I had no idea like what to avoid and, you know, when to move in for offensive kind of tactics. But it was really fun, and the rewards coming out of it were pretty cool as well. Now there are other dungeons similar to the Blood Castle that you can visit outside of the duty room here. It's been said that on each of the continents, and we don't have access to all of the continents yet in the beta, but on each continent there is a major dungeon that is for 65 level players and really powerful geared characters, definitely for groups kind of like the Blood Castle. There's like a dragon lair themed dungeon that it sounds really cool, and I'm looking forward to trying that one out too. Last but not least of endgame activities that I got to try out for this beta was the Labyrinth. Now this is a very different kind of dungeon. It's not like a resource dungeon that we have here in the duty room like for magic gems or Zen, and it's not a gear kind of dungeon either, like you were looking for maybe materials for crafting a very powerful item, or maybe you're looking for a legendary item drop or set plans or something like that. That's not what this dungeon is about, and instead it's for empowering your artifact. Now an artifact is a really interesting item. What you'll do is you'll choose from a selection of different artifacts that can give you different powers. Some may decrease your HP regeneration, but also increase your critical hit chance, which is pretty interesting. Or there's another one that if your health falls below a certain point, then your MP regen will speed up from there. So what you'll do is, once you have chosen and you craft one of these artifacts, you then equip it and then go into the labyrinth. Upon successfully completing and killing enemies inside the labyrinth, you'll earn XP for the artifact and its effect will level up. So within the labyrinth, and it seems only within the labyrinth, you'll earn XP to increase the power of your artifact. The catch, though, is that the labyrinth is incredibly challenging. I mean, I already knew that a little bit going into it. I remember it saying somewhere, maybe on the website or whatever, that this is some of the most challenging content that you could get into, but I had no idea it was going to be that challenging. This took me by complete surprise, and I got my butt kicked fast, man. Kind of embarrassingly fast, actually, too. But this is definitely, as it has been said, some of the most challenging, and will really test you and your character and your ability to play your class. And that pretty much wraps it up for this quick look at endgame content for MU Legend. Again, I want to remind everybody out there that this is just a portion of what we have to test so far for the MU Legend. We still have other continents that we still don't have access to. We have other classes, and there's probably more endgame content that still hasn't been released for us just yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of what MU Legend has to offer. So far, if you're wondering, like, what are my general impressions, do I like the game, do I think it's boring, I actually really like it. I especially like it later on. That first continent in like the first 20 levels isn't really the most exciting to look at, and your character isn't really developed to feel empowered and like fun to play. But once you get into like the 30s, and definitely when I got to like level 40s, I was really starting to feel it. I was starting to feel like how badass my character was becoming, and also really liked the new settings and the new types of enemies that I was fighting and stuff like that. Things just got more interesting, a bit more challenging. The rifts, all those randomly generated dungeons became more entertaining to go into as well. They got bigger and more powerful enemies at the end. So yeah, it's definitely a cool game, and it has a lot of potential, I think. Keep your eyes open for more MU Legend content here on the channel. I'm going to be playing each of the betas, testing out new features, new classes, and stuff like that, showing you guys some cool new gameplay, and definitely covering more in-depth for the game upon full release. Until then, let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Click the like button to support MU Legend here on the channel, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. This is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.